Hey guys, Chris from Provo Beast Audio Installation, and today we're doing a subwoofer and amplifier install to a factory radio on this Volkswagen Golf R. In this install, we're going to show you how to run the power wire, ground wire, and RCA cables from the factory radio to our amplifier. This Golf R has the factory upgraded amplified system, so we're going to show you how to tap into that and to get everything installed. So let's get started. Alright, so to gain access through the firewall to run our power wire, we went ahead and just poked a little hole. There's a little spot in the factory grommet that had nothing in it. We poked a little hole using wire, and what we're going to do is we've taped our power wire to it. We're going to go ahead and pull it through the firewall. Just like that. Alright, so we pulled our power wire through, mounted our fuse right there, and then we ran our wire down up through the battery casing. And now we're going to be replacing our stud on our positive battery post so we can insert our power wire here. Just because there is a crease within the bolt itself, not allowing you to really remove or add accessories to the power here. So we went ahead and removed the bolt nut altogether, and we're going to go ahead and replace it with a new nut bolt and get that back on. Of course, the negatives off the battery while we do that. So at this time, we're just about done underneath the hood, besides hooking up our terminals here. Now we went ahead and removed this kick panel here. You can do that essentially when you have the handle here. So in order for this handle to come off, essentially here, you get back behind to pop this back piece out. Once that back piece is out, the whole handle just pops on off. So we did that. And once that's out of the way, remove a little screw and then the whole panel comes off. We pull that so we can run our power wire just down up underneath. Like I showed you before, we went ahead and popped this off. And so we can run our cables down up underneath. This panel is just held on with clips all the way back. Continued on, we've already popped it back on. Ran up underneath here. We got our power here. We also ran our RCAs and our remote turn-on wire. We have a lot of extra here, so we'll just clean up the extra wire once we're done. We're gonna mount our amp right here on the back of the seat. Then for our ground, we went ahead and used that bolt there, back behind this panel here. Cleaned up the paint really good so there's no resistance. And put the 10mm nut back on the stud. So there's our ground. Alright, so what we've done here is we removed the cover over the factory amplifier here in the Golf R. Now you may or may not have a factory amplifier. This version does. If you happen to have it under the driver's front seat, we went ahead and unplugged it here, just undoing the latch, and that allows it to slip out of the port of the amp. Now with our line out converter, since we're using the signal sense turn on, we need to hook up our left and our right speaker outputs as well as our power and ground. And what we've done here is it's got that all hooked up. Now we tapped into the mid-range front speakers. The right speaker positive is brown green and right speaker negative is brown blue. So we hooked up our positive and negative to that. And then our right side, our brown red is our left front positive and brown black is our left front negative. So we soldered in there as well. And then we did power and ground. Those ones are easy to identify. Your power is this giant, it's the biggest red blue wire in there, and then the biggest brown is your ground. So we did the same. I've already taped them up to protect our connections here, but I'm going to go ahead and tape up the other ones, and then we're going to use Tessa tape the felt tape here and rewrap the entire harness so it looks factory. Then we can reinstall our plug back into the amplifier. So that's how we're tapping in to the factory system to rob that signal for our aftermarket amplifier. This end plugs into our line out converter by pack. This blue wire generates the remote output that goes to the remote input on the amplifier based on sound from the amp. Now finally here, you can also do an LC2I, which is ideal because that may correct the bass roll-off commonly found in your factory speakers. Okay, so we went ahead and rewrapped the harness, plugged it back in. That's good to go. Then we plugged our harness in to our line-out converter here. And at this point, now we're going to run our RCA cable and our remote wire to the back area, the hatch area, where we're mounting our amplifier underneath the carpet. Now this is a short distance. Generally speaking, you want to keep your RCA cable as far away from your power wire as possible to reduce the likelihood of interference. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so we got our line-out converter all mounted here. Kind of fits right in this factory location. Got our RCAs here and our bass saw and everything connected and zip tied down. And that'll just hide up underneath this panel. We got these panels all back on. Just clip them all back in. So we got our power wire, RCAs, and ground wire done with the remote turn-on wire. Next, we just got to go ahead and mount the amplifier and put the negative back on the battery and give it a test. Alright, so we got the cover back on. Ran our wires, got our panels all put back together. Just like so. Put in a little bass knob too as well that came with this pack module. Everything's all put back together here. We got our amplifier hooked up, power ground, remote from the line-out converter, speaker wire output to our box here, and then our RCAs, that one from our line-out converter as well. Everything's all buttoned up and cleaned up here. It just all folds away. Doing this JL W0 sub. Alright, that's about it. If you have any questions about this install, just go and post a comment below. Thanks guys for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.